Today we have Anna Foster from ELV Denim talking on Luxury Unedited.
Right.
Yay, Misha! What are we doing?
We're in London
and
for
we
the
are continuing the London edition, darling.
London
because
edition.
We started it last week, and I love the pastels.
Yeah,
I really do. I'm just like this because Barbie comes out tomorrow. Obviously, you know we're filming this.
I'm
now
your
in
Ken to your
July.
Barbie.
I know, darling. I know.
Today
We have
one of my favourite people in London,
And
Miss
first time.
Anna Foster.
I feel I should bow.
You should,
very
you
nice to meet you,
should.
Anna. This is the first time I meet you, so
Yes,
it's a
we've
pleasure.
met for the
Yes.
But
So
Nez has
Anna
spoken very
is
highly
the
of
creative director, founder of ELV Denim.
which is East London.
East London Vintage Denim, because
Yes.
that's where I live. I grew up, and that's where the business is based.
Okay,
Very
fantastic.
good. And just before we sort of delve into your brand, I'd love to know a bit about how you got to the point of launching ELV Denim.
Gosh, my career has spanned a couple of decades. I started out as an assistant at ID,
Oh,
intern.
darling,
I
magazine.
very trendy.
interned there,
Yes.
and then I went on to assist Jane Howe for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And then I kind of branched out on my own and kind of navigated my way and when I became fashion director of Lula magazine, and then I was fashion director of Rush, which is an Australian magazine. In 2016, the idea kind of started coming to me that I just wanted to do something that not set me apart, but that was going to have longevity, that had a future, and it had a way of paving the way for other people to follow. I mean, I don't know if I actually had that complete 5-year, 10-year, 15-year plan in front of me.
Does anyone though? I
No.
mean, we all think we have a plan, but I mean, really.
You kind of listen to
Yes,
these other.
yeah.
I listen to podcasts quite a bit, and of course, yours is included. And you have this. Oh, when I started this business with £2 million, and like a whole this, and I'm like,
Who starts a
wow,
business with £2 million?
What exactly? These kind of when you have how I built it.
Yeah,
It's
there's
very
always
rarely
a secret big investment
Yes.
that was involved.
And so I
it's-
kind of it was literally, I knew that it was really hard to find jeans for women, that you kind of never found that right fit. Trying on jeans is like second to swimwear, isn't it? In a changing room.
To be honest, I am a denim person. Like I dread to think how many pairs of jeans, and I've even archived like old jeans from like all sorts of brands, Levi's, Rocker Republic, you name it.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh my
like,
God, do you still have Rock and Republic left? I threw all mine away.
Oh, you
thank
should give
you.
them to
I
me.
was, I
I
was
could
involved
upcycle
in
them.
that.
You can upcycle.
Yes, I was thinking about bringing
Yeah, you
some
should do. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I just knew that, and I thought, and actually, so that was one thing in my mind, because I really believe that a brand should conform to how a woman wants to feel.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
Yes, thank
Women
you.
shouldn't go into stores and go, oh, I don't fit in this brand, I don't fit in this brand.
Yeah.
So part of like my design process, which I'm sure we'll go into later, is the fact that the jean should adapt and evolve with the person that's wearing it. And that for me was like one of the most important parts.
We actually talked about that on our show, the sustainability one, because
Yes.
I was wearing a pair of your jeans and we talked about how, you put weight on, you lose weight, you can alter it.
Yeah.
And we felt it was very much like a
Couture.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
we
like
kind of
denim
say,
couture,
yeah,
right?
we kind of say we do couture tailoring. I think,
Yes.
and because the other part is that we live in the world where there's so much, and I think everyone's trying to find that piece that's unique to them, to that individuality, and so by taking garments already exist and reworking them, deconstructing them, reconstructing them, you create garments that are unique to the person that wears it. So every jean is unique. Your jeans are unique to you. My jeans are unique to me. And in the fashion industry, you kind of had that opportunity when you went to a sample sale, you were given something by a designer, and you really look after that. You love it, you cherish it, because you know that only you have had that.
Yeah.
But why should that feeling just be for a small few? It should be for everybody.
Yeah.
So this way, everyone
so when
can
you
have something.
started, you actually had this idea that it was going to be for sustainability, that you were it's not something that you actually fell into. You just thought, okay, I'm going to take all these fabrics or denim fabrics and put things together. That was the initial plan.
Nobody was really talking about sustainability, and I just can't say that word without doing this.
It's such a...
Because it's now a word that's been re-adopted by so many people that don't really have the right to be using it. But that's fine. So, but when I started, no one really knew what this was. I just knew that something in our industry was wrong. There's something not right, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And so everything I did, and this is kind of what I say, it's based on common sense. If you think about it, you know that it's probably not a good idea to just throw clothes away, and you probably know it's not a good idea that your clothes are made in a factory where the conditions aren't correct, and anything that's made abroad is done for profit. And
because yours is every aspect of the garment, so it's not in the traditional sense like the textile that you use. It's even, like you were mentioning, making sure that everyone involved in the brand gets paid well and equally, and everyone benefits from.
And also, is it all made here?
Everything's made in
because
London.
This is what because a lot of these, and especially the big brands, they make a lot of stuff in countries. I'm not going to start mentioning countries, but everything abroad where they make it as cheap as possible, and then they'll put the final buttons on in Italy, and then they can say made in Italy, which is completely wrong.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is that at the end of the day, that's there. I know that our journey is really transparent. You can see on the website. You literally, I'm one of those people that I just wear my heart on my sleeve. It's very hard for me to contain any emotion, whether it be joy or frustration or disgust. It's like my
Welcome
face
to the club.
My face just contorts. It's maybe I need like Botox or something, so I'm just like that, and you can never tell the emotion. But it's I felt that firstly I want to be able to control everything that's going on. I was learning because I hadn't learned how to design. But I knew how I wanted to do things, so I had to really be hands-on. And the idea that I'm hands-on and then suddenly I've got to fly somewhere else, I was like, well, we've got really good manufacturing here. And I found out all these places and thought, why is everyone not using these incredible ateliers that exist?
And then you're
because
contributing.
It was too expensive, that's the problem.
Yeah,
for a lot of people it's too expensive to make.
But you're regenerating.
It shouldn't be. We shouldn't say that somebody who is putting garments together, that's taking the time, their skills, that shouldn't be devalued.
I agree.
But we've been so conditioned towards that. And we're now in a position where everything's growing in price, everything's growing in cost. Groceries, gas, water, everything. But still, clothing, everyone criticises that.
Can I ask you, so you talked about your journey, but what actually inspired you to make your first piece?
It was really creating unique garments that I would wear and then no one else would have. I loved that, and I wanted to give that to everyone. So by kind of I started just cutting jeans up and putting them together, and then you'd get what you got. It wouldn't be a specific shape. You wouldn't be able to get that style in all different sizes or different colours because I didn't have a pattern. I was putting things together, and some things turned out great and some things didn't. So I put all these jeans together in a bag, and having been in the industry, I had certain contacts, and so I started going, oh, what do you think about this? Do you like this? Went into Selfridges, and they were like, love the idea, but we just don't know how we're going to like tag these, how we're going to size these. And so that was a real kind of learning point for me, because I can go into a room of industry people and they'll love rummaging around, putting different jeans on, trying to kind of find the one that's for them, because they understand the value and they're prepared to put in the time. But consumers, clients aren't necessarily geared for that, so that's not their passion. So you want to make it as easy as possible. So that was a real lesson for me. So I went back, I looked at all the jeans that I'd created, and I thought, which ones do I really like the most? And I made a pattern called it the twin, because it's taking two jeans, generally large size jeans, because in a circular economy you want everyone to take something that they can and wear it as it is. So small size jeans already have quite a big resale value in vintage stores. So you've got all your different brands of vintage jeans, and they're kind of 24, 25, 26 up to 32. They'll fly out there. So I don't want to take that, because I'm not scooping up what everyone doesn't want. So I won't take all the larger sizes, all the ones that are damaged, the ones that are misshapen, the ones that have got, like a rip down the side. So the twin came from 2 large jeans that no one wanted, and then I put my patterns on top, and 2 became 2.
Because your design process is actually very different. You start with the fabric first.
We hand curate.
Which is very different.
We hand curate our fabric, and so our focus is always that. Just because the style isn't desirable, it doesn't mean that's the same for the fabric. The fabric is super hard wearing. Denim was designed to last.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that we're going, I don't like that anymore. And it was so exhaustive on the environment in the first place. I kind of have put this mantle on myself that I feel I have a duty to rescue every single jean that I can and rework it.
Yeah.
So the twin was born. So 2 jeans. I've got an example here.
Oh,
look, I feel like this is one I made
Ta-da,
earlier.
this is
So
what I
you
made
can imagine
earlier.
that this is 1 black jean and 1 light blue jean.
That gives a great also silhouette, doesn't it?
And then we swap the insides over, and so you get this new jean.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so all the pocket details are different. There's different characteristics. It has its own personality. And so that's really how it was born. And so this was worn by a friend of mine who was at Net-a-Porter. She was the fashion editor at the magazine, at Porter magazine.
Yes, Porter.
And so she was wearing it around the office, and someone went, oh my gosh, what are they? And she said, these are my friend Anna's. And so that was it. That was the story. And so I launched with Net.
Amazing if there was anyone you were going to launch it. That's kind of a dream.
It flew out. It was such a success. And with the money from that, I was like, right, I'm going to invest in a new shape, because I had also seen designers that spent all this money on shows and presentations, and they get themselves into so much debt.
Yeah.
And I think my father is an accountant, and always taught me, don't spend money you don't have.
Yes.
So I started the business, as opposed to the people I listen to on podcasts, with £1,500, and that's how I launched the business.
Yeah.
And once I'd made money from Net, I then invested into 2 new shapes, the Flare and the Boyfriend. And again, with the innovation and the way of kind of looking at fabric first, before I'd been taking jeans and discarding them, going, oh, the zip's gone on that one, or there's a rip on the side, I can't use that to make the 2 make 2. But then I thought, actually, I can take the good half of one and the good half of another, put them together. And so I created what I call the Boyfriend and the Flare, which is a larger silhouette. Yeah. Large, uses more material. So I'm using more material and not abandoning them.
Yeah.
Okay. So really, really sustainability, 100%.
It's everything, but it's common sense innovation. It's literally taking things that, this material is amazing, so I can't make that, but what else can I make? It's just, we shouldn't disregard this incredible quality fabric.
Yeah, no,
and that's really, everything takes time when you talk about sustainability.
So that's what you would call the upcycling process.
Upcycling, yes.
Yeah.
So
there's always these terminologies that are flying around.
Yeah, because I think lots of people say, oh, you recycle denim. And I'm like, no, recycling is taking its form, breaking it down to the fibre, and then turning it into a new textile.
Yeah.
Whereas upcycling is you're taking something that has a certain value and you're giving it more value.
And I like your lesson in terms of taking your time to grow, because I think a lot of young designers should listen to that, because they're always trying to, before they've
that
really
fast famous quickly,
not even that, before they even fine tune their signature and their understanding of who they are as a brand, they're already trying to go into different categories. It doesn't work like that. You've really got to define yourself and do what you do very, very well, which is what you've taken the time to do.
And it was a very slow process. And so then the Boyfriend and the Flare, then we did a jacket.
Yeah.
And then we did a denim shirt.
Yeah.
I say we because, the business has grown now. There's 6 of us, 6 women full-time employees, which
Fantastic.
is an amazing achievement.
And how do you sell primarily? Online?
Wholesale. Through wholesale. Wholesale's
wholesale.
our primary revenue driver, but then we're really trying to build the direct consumer, because that relationship that I have with my customers is just, I love that. I still get slightly giddy when I see someone wearing, and I go up and go, oh, you're wearing ELV denim, are you? Oh my God, like this. Yeah. And my husband says to me, you've really got to stop doing that. And I was like, other people are like, no, you shouldn't. We those people that I go up to.
Absolutely.
There was a girl in the pub near me, and I was like, looks like my button. And I was kind of just edging closer towards her, looking, unfortunately, at her crotch, because that's because that's where the seams are, because she was wearing a match pair. And after a while, I just thought, oh my God, I'm going to look like a real weirdo now. So I said, excuse me, are you those ELV Denim? She said, yes. I went, oh my God, that's my brand. And she was with all her friends in the pub. Yeah. And they would just go, oh my God, she gets so many compliments. She goes, I've never found a pair of jeans that fit me. Which is amazing. Hearing that, and you can see from my emotion, that is really what I love. And so now we've done our website. We're trying to kind of streamline all of that. We're really doing brand awareness and creating a community, really, because that's what's really great, because we give so much information on our website. We have all the kind of size guides. We have all our transparency. We do blogs. We do.
I love the fact that I did have a quick look, that you are very transparent.
Yeah.
But I would just like to touch upon the price of the denim, please, because I think a lot of people are very interested in that. Yeah. So they start from
$255. The straight leg is $255, and then the boyfriend and flare go up to $315. And then we have our jumpsuits and our dresses, which are actually made from all the pieces that you can't make into a jean. So we extract all the denim from the back, because you sometimes get jeans that are all kind of damaged on the front, but the back's amazing. So we extract, and that's 57 pieces, which make these really kind of real quality investment pieces.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's around that discussion about fast fashion and the narrative around that.
Yeah, I mean,
so absolutely, it's like, how do you?
I think we have to get people to understand that we want to buy garments that last.
Yeah.
Fast fashion is designed not to last. I guess it's like an addiction, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's designed not to last, so you need more and more and more. Yeah. Whereas the jeans that we make, we really consider the material at so many points during production, when we're hand sourcing it, when we're grading it, when we're checking it for marks, the quality, the colour, the grading, the putting it together to find its friend. Mm-hmm. All those processes take so long, and then we work so closely with our ateliers. They're really small, actually. So everything is cut individually. So it's literally cutting one piece at a time.
Which means that there's no waste, really.
Well, it's not that. That's really kind of the end product of it. But actually, the way that it's cut, each piece is considered individually. So there isn't like this mass production. There isn't anything that kind of makes it a fast process. It's done with care and attention. I think that what we have to do is get people to realise that buying clothes that are designed not to last is not the way forward.
Absolutely not. Oh my gosh.
I mean, fast fashion isn't designed to last.
Fast fashion is a disaster.
It's a bit like an addiction. You buy it, it doesn't last. You buy more, it doesn't last. You're conditioned to buy more and more and more because...
Well, not just that. I mean, also the fabrics are so dangerous to the environment. I mean, you've got all these regulations in place for certain things, but everyone seems to be forgetting about all the synthetics that last forever and cause huge landfills. I mean, don't get me started on the landfills and all these.
But it's fast fashion is feeding into a need.
Yes. Yeah, but it's also feeding needs of consumers, because I think, and this is a dear friend of the brand, Aja Barber, has says, the conversation about price point is derailed by people saying it's just for people that can't afford. And actually, if everybody that was on the poverty line was purchasing fast fashion, and she said this to me, I went, these businesses wouldn't be the multi-billion-dollar industries that they are, that they are. Yeah. It really wouldn't. It wouldn't be to scale as much as it is. It's not just
for sure.
For those. No. So that conversation, I feel, is used by those brands to justify it.
So explain that point again.
So Ash has done that, yes. So should I replace that again? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So we have a friend of the brand called Aja Barber, who is an incredible activist and writer. Mm-hmm. And she explained to me once, and it really made sense, is that if the conversation around people needing clothes to be cheap is set up by those big businesses, because if everybody that was on the poverty line, if it was only them that were purchasing fast fashion clothing, those businesses would not be the multi-billion companies that they are.
Yes.
Yeah, of course not.
Because everybody is buying into that. And look, I'm not saying that you can't go and buy high street clothing, that you shouldn't, but if you purchase it, then that item is in your possession. It's your responsibility to look after it.
And I think it loses, for me, part of the fun, we've talked about this, part of the fun of fashion is actually the styling aspect of it and reimagining your wardrobe.
Also, I think, again, that's being a stylist is actually it's easy to buy new things and create new looks. The skill is taking what you already have and reinventing it all the time, and taking it and reworking it and wearing it with certain things. That is the skill.
Re-accessorising it. It's all about the styling.
And the other word that people are throwing around at the minute is circular economy. Can you tell us in terms of your brand what that means to you?
So circular economy, for us, is taking items that are already in existence and making sure that they stay in existence through their form. So we take garments that already exist, and you want to do that with the lowest energy possible. So as I said before, if you want someone to take a vintage, when you've got things in your wardrobe you don't want, the ideal is you either think about who you give them to, or think about, the idea is just not to just chuck them to the charity shop, because that really is the laziest, more convenient, but not necessarily the best way to do it. So, but we will take things that no one wants and then we'll rework those. But then with all our scraps and the sides, you remember I said we have our boyfriend and our flare that is made with half a jean, and we have the half left. I was making scrunchies and belts and bags, and I was like, how many scrunchies does the world need and how many belts does the world need? And I thought, actually, we can make something a little bit more impactful about it. So we take all the bits of the jeans we don't use and we cut out strips and we construct our fabric. We make these things called maps, and then we put our pattern pieces on the top. I have
and then if we can be descriptive as well for those listening.
So this is what so all the strips are, I guess they're about 30-40 centimeters in length and about 6 centimeters wide.
Sexy mama.
And then we construct them so you can see inside all the seams. So
Fantastic
each one,
tailoring.
So then we put our pattern pieces on the top, because this skirt is going to be loved and considered potentially marginally more than a belt or a scrunchie, and you're going to look after it more. And everyone is unique
and very unique. Yes,
and then also we also thought about, okay, but then we have little scraps, we have little sections, we have bits that we're not using. How can we make sure that those still exist?
Because someone challenged you recently, one of your partners.
Yes, and one of the ateliers we work with said, well, you're not zero waste because you have waste.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, no, that's actually the concept. We're taking things we're preventing waste and reworking it. And so I just thought, well, actually, no, we can be better. We can always be better. So what we did, he said, well, we remove all the branding from the original jean and put our own branding on. So now we collect all those metals. They're all different. And we are just in line with the 866 Royal Mint, because we're going to start using their technology to break these down and create objet d'art. So maybe candlestick holders or little trays, everything, because you can melt them down at different temperatures.
Can I tell you another idea I just thought?
Yes.
Maybe you could cover the actual buttons with the excess denim. So have denim buttons.
Yeah, we do. We do that as well. So it's because once you remove it, though, unfortunately, then it's kind of broken in half.
Yeah.
So, but still, we're just trying to be better. And so now with the scraps, we were working with a textile association who are one of the good guys. Because again, that's a whole nother podcast. And they take the scraps and they turn it into insulation. Wow. So again, that's still in the economy. Yeah. But then we're actually working, and I actually thought, we should be doing something better. So again, rather than sit on our laurels and go, oh, this is fine, actually we need to be thinking of constantly adapting and rethinking the process. So now we work with this great company in East London, and they turn our scraps of denim into paper.
Oh, I love
and I
it.
really wish I had some, but we're getting the first test back on Wednesday.
You're becoming a lifestyle brand.
So we're going to be making... we've got these kind of note cards and envelopes, and they're going to be in another bigger envelope. So once you've sent your lovely handwritten cards to your friends, because, that kind of personal touch, the writing a little letter to someone. Yeah. I think now, because we never get those, I love opening letters.
Me too. Yes.
And so, advocating everything to be thought. Because everything's quick.
Yeah.
And actually, let's take time. My daughter's going away to school in September. And so I listened to a podcast with Elizabeth Allende, and her mother wrote each other a letter every single day of their lives.
Wow.
So I want to write to my daughter, even if it's like, oh, I had a wonderful day today. How was yours, darling? So we'll just send her a letter every day. And then we'll have this record for decades.
Yeah, which will be lovely.
And ask me in 6 months how it's going.
I want to see, yes. I want to know if you actually managed to do that.
Yeah.
So can you tell me, because you have actually launched an extension. So I'm not teasing you, but I think you should be dropping the denim out of the ELV.
We've had this conversation.
Yeah,
and do you know what? I was walking past someone today and I went, oh, this could work. And I think as you go back to this conversation, I said that if I'd set up the business with £2 million and a branding expert with me, and it wasn't just me in my kitchen going, oh, this sounds great, East London vintage denim, I would, if I'd had that vision or I had someone with me that had launched a brand before, you would understand that.
But Anna, brands evolve all the time. Even the big brands.
And I guess I still keep the denim section. I mean, that's just
it could just be ELV.
I know, but I guess it stems from the fact because everyone used to call it ELV denim. I'm like, we are not elves, although it's kind of similar to the shoemakers' elves, isn't it? When they'd go overnight and Kate, and then you get these shoes made. I mean, the girls are like that. I mean, we make a lot in the studio as well. We have, when people come in, they can hand pick their denim from, we call it the Pandora's bookshelf of all these different colours, textures, details. We've got some with like lattice lacing all down the side, with like this jodhpur style, and you can create your own jean. So
who is your ELV customer, man or woman? What is there a common thread?
Well, it's someone that really appreciates design, really appreciates quality, wants to know that they are wearing something that denim is like the item that's going to work the hardest for you, isn't it? And it's the item that you put on, and when it works, it's perfect. So with our 4 seams, we can give everybody the opportunity to wear that jean perfectly for them, and it can be literally something they put on and go, oh my God, I feel great. And those of our customers, it's not necessarily we've got customers that save up for our product, and we had a girl that came in, she bought a pair of jeans, and a month later she came back going, oh my God, I caught my side of my jeans on the door, and she had a massive L-shaped rip, and which wasn't great but the other part of this is in a circular economy, people can bring their jeans back to us and we can replace a panel.
Oh wow!
Great, yeah.
So you can actually replace that part. Don't know if they're abroad, we can send it to them, and with instructions, because we try to give as much information as possible. We want someone to come
back to transparency.
Someone to come to our website. They can see our journey, see the people we work with. Everyone's really honest. We did a whole kind of art of upcycling where we got our top customers to come in and took pictures of them, and it was kind of the art of upcycling, and you spread the word. It's this, if you post a picture of you in your jeans, then we give you a reward for posting you and your jeans and a friend. So it's kind of
hold on a minute.
I've
got like 4 or 5 pairs of ELV denim.
No, she does, and she always speaks about it. And the other thing is, I have to be honest. I didn't know about you until Nez wore the jeans.
Oh,
so
I'm a denim influencer. I'm a sustainable brand.
You are sustainable.
But I think our customer, because our jeans are for men and women as well. My husband wears them, and he's not the most kind of, I wouldn't say he was like a real trendsetter when it comes. He's a very kind of classic, has a classic wardrobe, but he loves the fact that his jeans are unique to him. And you can't really tell there's anything because he wears the match colours, because I've got the contrast ones here and I'm wearing the contrast, but actually we do match colours. So it's not necessarily from someone that wants to
be different,
be striking, because this is it's a statement. But actually when you wear it with a white t-shirt and a pair of trainers, it doesn't become such a statement. It's effortless. And we have a girl that just walked past. She's actually a film director. She's incredible, but she's on set all the time, especially in the winter. She wears these massive big puffers, but underneath she's got her jeans, which gives her sense of style. And she just loves that. And I think clients come to us, they love the design first.
Oh, hold on a minute, everyone. Hold on.
What do you feel?
I feel the top 5 coming on.
I feel the top 5 coming on.
I feel the top 5.
I have no idea what just happened.
First question.
Yes. Oh my God.
Can I have your top 3 brands in ranking for sustainability? Knock yourself out.
Do you know what? That's very interesting. I don't spend much time looking at other brands to be honest, because we kind of focus so much on what we do. Obviously ELV Denim is like top one. And I think it's actually kind of concepts. There's a girl called Curate, has a company called Curate and Rotate, and she is amazing at curating pieces, and then she kind of shows how you wear them, and she's got a massive community. So I would say as a brand, Curate and Rotate. Now my mind has gone completely blank.
I'm talking about brands as in, say, one of the famous brands. Do you know anyone that's
really
trying
working on
actively
sustainability? Oh my goodness.
Working.
Okay, let's cut. Let me
I
have
know-
a think about
yeah,
this,
'cause
and
no,
I'll
no,
try and
I'm-
think.
no, I'm
I know.
I like the
No,
ones
I
you've
like
given.
them. I
Yeah.
like this.
Okay.
We're not
So
cutting.
okay, I'm not cutting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are my 3 top brands? My 3 top brands, of course, are ELV Denim.
Yes.
Us. We are the only denim brand, or the only brand that 100% upcycles. We really, truly are. I also, but then when you kind of think about, I like this a girl that runs a company called Curate and Rotate, which is a resale platform, and I do really love those. But kind of on the bigger brands, I think you have to look at the ones that are trying, but it's really hard because you only
such huge machines.
there's such huge machines, and they have the best will in the world. But when it comes down to it, it's really hard. Lots of them to inject. ELV Denim was perfect because it grew from a point of sustainability. That's where the ethos started. So you make your decisions as you go. The first 10 decisions and then the subsequent 200 decisions are all based around common sense, what's doing the right thing, and focusing on the environment and creating garments that last. But when you've got a big business already, then trying to inject sustainability all the way through must be so hard.
Yeah.
It's I don't know the big brands and where they all produce their clothing. You'd have to spend a lot of time doing lots of research. But I would always say British brands, British made brands that are, for me, as a British consumer, I would be always focusing on those. So, when you're kind of looking at, then you're looking at Mulberry because they make everything here. And then shoe brands, I know it's really hard because all the shoe technologies, there are very few shoe manufacturers here. So
Gina shoes used to have their. Do you remember Gina?
Yes,
shoes?
I
They used to
remember.
have
Gina,
their.
of course.
They
Yeah.
had their
Everything
manufacturing
was
here.
here
I
in the
remember
East End.
visiting them
I
in the
remember
East
visiting
End.
them as
Yeah.
Well, then they would get my big tick.
I remember
Were
visiting
we there
them.
at the same time?
I don't think so, darling, but I was going to stock them in my
Yeah.
Well, you can stock my jeans in your store then.
Yes, you
We
can.
talk about that. We definitely will.
Question
Question number 2.
Okay.
So, you, for instance, will only wear your own denim things.
True.
But would you still buy a new pair of denim jeans if you saw one that you liked?
No,
Never.
never.
And is that just because from an ethos point of view, or just because you want to represent your brand, or?
Both, I think. I would be a humongous hypocrite if I started wearing someone else's jeans. But I love my.
Let's take it a bit further from denim. Of course, denim, it's your brand, you're going to wear it. But I mean, you want to be sustainable. You obviously stand for something.
Yeah.
So, do you buy a lot of new clothing, as in shirts, t-shirts, or do you try and
She's
source?
just come out with her own shirt.
So yes, so
your shirt?
This is our shirt. So we take
I quite like that.
Yes, we take striped shirts,
shirts.
and
Love a
we
striped shirt.
rework
we love a
those.
striped shirt.
And also we've just, but I guess when it came to kind of styling the brand, I was a bit like, what am I putting everything with?
Yeah.
And actually, I had a kind of an epiphany moment last summer where I had a duvet cover that I loved, was so expensive, and it ripped beyond repair. And so as I was thinking, God, what do I do with this? It suddenly made me think, if I've got a problem figuring out how to reuse this incredible Egyptian silk cotton,
Beautiful.
what are luxury hotels doing?
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
nothing. So I approached a few of the hotels and actually ended up speaking with the head housekeeper at the Ned. And so they gave us
Their sheets.
They gave us their sheets, and so now I can jump off camera or jump back.
Yeah.
And I've created these.
Oh,
So
that's
this
wow.
is all.
I love that.
So this is all, and we use the pleaters in Enfield in North London.
Okay.
Oh,
And
nice.
So that is from a bed sheet.
That is from a luxury, yes, that's ripped, that's
Luxury.
damaged, that can't be reused. And
Now,
then
how
lots of it is
How would you feel about wearing a bed sheet?
Well, it's not a bed sheet
not a bed
anymore,
sheet
but
anymore.
any piece of fabric is whatever
big,
it might be
Yeah.
until.
Fantastic.
and it's
It
just
becomes
also
what
it has
it is.
no memory of the piece actually, and lots of it, especially in luxury hotels, it's pen marks.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can imagine, someone's doing their work, his business,
bed.
and then the
Breakfast in bed.
and then the doorbell and the room service comes with their champagne. They throw their Sharpie on the bed,
Yeah.
and it's Sharpie markers and
Oh,
black
really?
biros, yeah.
Really.
And so
Black
we
biros.
kind of put little markers on the big linen, then we send it to the atelier and they make. And so we have that, and then we have a skirt. Sorry, I just want to bring a whole look. So then we made these little skirts as well.
Cute.
Okay.
You can
That's
wear
so
that to
cute.
tennis.
You could.
Yeah, so it's just...
Or you could wear that as a Made in Manhattan party that you were going to have. Could be a little thing with a little.
Well, I was
black
going to have a
apron.
Made in...
No, not you. But if you're going to have a Made in Manhattan party,
Oh,
remember
I
that
see.
movie? I think that would be really
I
good.
see.
You'd look very
But
cute.
by the way, Anna,
yeah.
I am looking for a green striped
We've got
shirt.
That is a very nice
We've
shirt.
got one.
I must say.
We've
We
got
should
one
wear
left
ma-
in the studio.
We
should
should
wear
wear matching
matching.
one day.
Well,
Well,
you
you know.
I could have brought you a pink one if I'd known.
Yes,
and then
there
we
you
could
go.
have,
For
we could all
Barbie,
had the shirts
absolutely.
together.
Yeah.
But
We will look forward to that.
And then we're also upcycling scarves. We're going into kind of tailoring. You know, it's fine. It's all about curation of fabric
Yeah.
first. And
Well,
we
that-
found all these pieces that no one wants, and I'm reworking them. I found
That
a whole
sort
load
of
of morning
answered
coats.
question number 3 as well.
Oh,
was
no.
What else are you? No, that's fine.
No,
what
that's
else are you
good.
going to go into? Now, if
Perfect.
you could,
Number
number
4.
4, if you could see one person in your designs, in your denim, for instance, as a spokesperson, who would it be?
Do you mean aside from me?
Aside, yeah, definitely.
Oh, do you know
no,
what?
like somebody?
It would be
like-
my mum.
Would it?
Yeah, and I lost my mum a few years ago, and
I'm
sorry to hear
oh,
that.
actually,
Yeah.
but this shirt's named after her, the Diana,
Oh.
and then the skirt that went with it, called the Bailey, was named after she was called Diana Bailey,
Yeah.
and it would really be my mum because she was literally pioneering all the time. As when I was growing up, she would make something out of nothing all
Yeah.
the time, and I think I've totally embodied her creativity, her innovation that was common sense. So I don't know,
Love
did you grow
that.
up with sticker like scratch and sniff
Yes,
scratch and sniff stickers? And you know, we couldn't afford all the ones that all the kids used to have. So my mum used to make me stickers from penguin wrappers.
Oh,
So she would
nice.
stick sticky back plastic, and I have to go into school with this penguin wrapper. Go, does anybody want to swap me for an orange scratch and sniff?
Yeah. Oh.
And-
And I
but-
bet you they would.
But you know, it was just, and her, the way she kind of made a lot of garments, and so she was such an inspiration. She really, really was. So I know you
Love
probably
it.
wanted someone famous, but it would
No,
be my mum.
not at all.
No,
It would be my
that
mum.
Not
would
at
be-
all.
she
That was a perfect
lovely-
And she would
blend.
be, I mean, she's in lots of our kind, I use her as a reference because she always wore striped shirts.
Yeah.
That's what she wore. And so I have a lot of them
Okay.
that I wear. So I wear her pieces. And
Okay.
she did wear some quite odd denim though. She had some, if I'm going back, she had this like kind of flared suit with loads of lace around, which was totally not her, but but she was one of those people that bought something and then kept it forever.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that really taught me that once you buy something, if you've bought something, you don't wear it immediately.
Yeah.
You just don't need it.
Yeah.
Take it back. And you
True.
have to love everything in your wardrobe. If you don't remember where you bought it or why, then, you know, I think
That's
that
very
would-
true.
yeah.
I mean, they do say that you only wear like 10% of your wardrobe.
It makes me feel guilty because I've been in
Yeah.
the industry for so long that I do have a lot of clothes.
Yeah.
So I really try and make sure, and it is
I'm
a
not going
source
to
of
speak
guilt.
at that point about
No,
having
let's
just
swiftly move on to
move
number
on to
5.
having
But
a lot
again,
of
it's
stuff.
just,
I haven't,
but
yeah.
maybe it's a case of literally going to wardrobe and taking something from the left, and like,
I actually
and then you
do
literally
do
go
that,
right.
yeah.
I'm
I'm
now
going to wear
doing
them.
that.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
well, that's
Yeah.
good. So last but
What's
not least,
last but not least?
how can we make recycled or, you know, upcycled as you do, how can we make it more affordable for people so that we can get a mass
I don't actually
buying
think
into it?
upcycling is not affordable when you look at the prices that we have against other competitors, like maybe our top, the kind of like the more elevated denim. It's not in the same
Yeah.
realms. It really
Yeah.
isn't. It's all about kind of appreciating investments denim. You know, there's a kind of a reconstructed trend that's out there now, and I want my innovation to last beyond that trend. Everyone needs to be investing in denim that lasts. And it's also about design. It's also been making sure that if one person cuts a pair of jeans slowly and carefully and sews it, it's going to last longer than something when the pair that was made with 100 a day,
Yeah.
without a doubt. And I think we've got to revalue how we work, you know, how we kind of, not revalue, how we have to revalue
No, I think
our relationship
revalue.
with
Yeah, I
clothes.
think
Yeah, our
revalue is a good
relationship. That's the word I was looking for. In the fact that clothing costs the same as it does today that did 100 years ago.
Yeah.
A dress cost $20 or £20 100 years ago, and
Yeah,
it costs
shocking.
arguably less now. I wish house prices were the same, because that would
No, that would be really
That
it would
would
be
be
really,
helpful.
but it isn't.
Actually, I
and
was saying that the other day because it was yesterday. I was in a very upmarket store, and I saw
I wouldn't expect anything.
no, but I
else from you,
I
darling.
saw an item and I thought, oh my God, that's really gone up. And my husband looked at me. He said, yeah, but you've been wearing this for like 30 years or
Yeah.
whatever since you were, you know, a teenager. And I used to buy Chanel as a teenager.
Yeah.
And he said,
From
well,
the
how,
womb, I
and
think.
he said, no, and he said, and how much would you have paid it back? And I remember thinking that maybe 30 years ago, I was paying £600-700 for a belt. So imagine now in today's money,
It's just, you know, you want,
it's
I mean,
the
for
same.
me, if you're buying a pair of jeans that lasts a lifetime from incredible quality material and it is unique to you, that's the definition of luxury. And that jean is designed to be hard wearing. Ours jeans are designed to adapt your lifestyle. And I would believe that's the definition of luxury that is attainable. It just, you know, you just have to think, right, I'm going to buy that pair of jeans. It's going to last me, you know, 10, 20 years.
But if I came to you with my own design, or I could say to you, would you also do that, or does it have to be?
No,
your
No,
specific
you can
fashion?
come with your old
You can come with your old
pieces.
jeans, and we
Yeah.
can rework them. We don't
Okay.
incorporate stretch into our jeans because otherwise we're advocating something that
Yeah, no,
we
no,
don't
I agree
advocate.
that.
Yeah.
But we take the stretch and we don't ignore that, because I think as a designer that I believe I can take anything and turn it into something else.
Yeah.
You know, I can put my fingers over my ears and go, I don't want stretch denim, I don't want to stretch denim. But stretch denim is a problem. There is so much of it.
There is so
So
much
we've
of it.
incorporated into our ready to wear, which means that our ready to wear is slightly lighter. But when you put 4 seams around a piece of stretch, elastane, then it can't move anywhere.
can't move.
So we've solved a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all those things, we just have to sit down, and rather than just go, oh, it's a problem, chop it up, send it to landfills, you know, recycle it into a plastic. Actually, no, let's really think about it. My vision, my world is where we don't take, no fabrics go to landfill. We extract all the material we can, we fold it up nicely, and it goes into a shop that, you know, all dotted around the country, and you go in it, it's like shopping at Liberty's. You take your fabrics and you create your curtains, or, you know, having this world where we're creating individuality. We all want to be different. We should have the opportunity for that, and we shouldn't be kind of forced into just feeling the same as everybody else. Or, you know, I think that's what upcycling does. It creates individuality, and that's what everybody needs, should have.
I love that, and
on
I think
that
that's
note,
it's a
a
nice
perfect
place
note to finish.
Oh,
Thank you so
thank
much
you
for
so
coming.
much, Anna.
And
Thank
for
you so
educating
much.
us on that, and I shall look forward to the striped shirt.
On its way winging to you right now.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Been
you,
a
Anna.
pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Bye. Bye, guys.